Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I'm here for a small reading update today. So I have two books that I'm gonna return to the library later today. So I'm gonna talk about those. The book that I opened in my Sunweight calendar on Thursday, I'm gonna talk about that the coming Thursday before I open the next package. So I have finished that book, but I want to save that. So this is just like a reading update, what I'm gonna return to the library and what I thought of them. So hopefully, I'm experimenting with making my videos a bit shorter, especially at least the ones in between Sunweight calendar updates. So or videos. So I'm gonna start talking about this one. So this is a book that in English is called The Body Keeps the Score. This is the Swedish translation, and the author is Bessel van der Kolk. So this is a book of about 367 pages of just pure like facts. It's a non-fiction book. And then there are about 110 pages. No, let's see. No, I'm sorry, 80 pages with where the appendix starts with a lot of like footnotes and references of different kinds. So I have not finished this book, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I've read about 110 pages so far, and the reason I'm returning it to the library so soon is because, one, I could only have it for 2 weeks. So I don't know how they what makes them decide which books are given 2 weeks or which are not. I think it has something to do when it came out or how long the queue is or whatever. So the reason I'm returning it now is because are two reasons. One, I only had my 2 weeks to read it, and it's been 1 week, and I just feel stressed. And I know I'm not gonna finish it in 2 weeks. So that's the first reason. The second reason is I realized, like 100 pages in, that I need my own copy. I continued reading a little bit after that, and I was like, no, I better just stop reading. And I have written down all my references, all my quotes, or the page numbers and rows of the quotes on these 110 first pages for when I can buy it myself. So my problem right now is that it's quite expensive because I want this Swedish version. I want the Swedish translation, and it's a bit too expensive for my pocket right now. So I'm gonna have to wait on that. So that's the reason why I just wrote everything down. And yeah, I'm gonna give myself another opportunity to read it later on and to read it at my own pace and to highlight and do everything I want to do with this book because I'm really enjoying reading it. It's very interesting. As someone who has gotten the diagnosis of PTSD, and have gone through trauma treatment. That's a tongue twister. Trauma treatment in the past. It's very interesting to read about the different how trauma treatment was first, you know, who not discovered, but like who coined the whole thing, and it's so descriptive of like the history of trauma treatment and trauma diagnosis and alongside the author's own experiences with being a trauma therapist, and it's got so much wisdom in it, and also I like the objectivity of the author in when they talk about certain types of research and studies. Like they don't condone Well, I don't want to say that they don't condone, because that would mean that they condemn, but they don't. It's more like they have an objective mind when it comes to like animal studies and that sort of thing. So it acknowledges that it's not fair to the animals. At the same time that it can, the authors is very good on describing the benefits of it. I still don't condone it. I think it's horrible. I think it's I would definitely condemn. I don't think we as humans have the right to do that to animals. That's horrible. In this book, I can, you know, due to the author's objectivity, I can keep an objective mind while reading it, but not quite objective. There's a part of me that's still horrified about it. But I'm really enjoying reading it. It's very interesting. And if you know someone with trauma that has trauma, or if you have trauma yourself, I think you can relate to a lot of things. There are, of course, trigger warnings about this book because they describe a lot of traumatic events, and yeah, so it's not for the it's not easy to read, but and I'm enjoying it solely because it's so interesting. I don't enjoy reading about other people's traumas. But yeah, so this is going back to the library. And the only reason I actually have it at home, or like I read it at this point at all, is because it was my time in the very long queue of people that's waiting for it. So that's the only reason, because I don't really have the time to read it right now because I have so much else going on and other books I want to read because of the season and that sort of thing. So it's a good decision to pause this. I'm not DNFing it, I'm pausing it. Okay. And it's a heavy one as well. Just mentally and physically, it's heavy. It's good that I have muscles. Okay, so this is the book that I have read for the book club on Fable, the well-read book club with Caroline Marie Reeds. I think I'm gonna tag her in my description as I did last week. So I've finished this now, and I'm really enjoying it. I have enjoyed it, and at the last pages of the book, in the last pages of the book, there was an interview with the author. Where is it? An interview with Diana Wynne Jones. So there's an interview with her, and in that interview, I learned that there are 2 more books, and I was like, yay! So this I would say is like middle grade, borderline young adult, and if I look at myself, I could have read this when I was about 10 years old. I would have enjoyed it probably. Fortunately for a Swedish audience, this is it has been translated into Swedish. So there are a Swedish version, and if you look at my video Tillbaka till biblioteket, then I will let you know the title in Swedish. So that it can be enjoyed, even if you're not that good at reading English. So I really enjoyed this. I think it was good. The pace was good, and then at the end it got really fast paced because there was a lot of resolving to do, and I think the author did that very well. I enjoyed the entire book, and I especially I have noticed with myself lately that when I think back on books, there are 2 main things I think about: the world building and the character development / friendships that are formed, or like relationships. So those are the main 2 aspects that I think about afterwards, and I think those are the main 2 aspects that I really focus on when I'm reading a book. So the writing style or whatever, I think I only notice the writing style when I don't like it. So I'm not going to talk about that. And especially in English, it's hard. You know, the only thing I really have to say about books when it comes to writing style in English, because it's not my native language, is if it's hard to understand and you know, keep the pace with what's happening, or if the language is, or the writing style is too intricate or too evolved for the targeted audience or something like that. And maybe because this is like a middle grade kind of book, I had no problem with keeping up with what happened. And I don't know which character I like the most. I think I actually like Howl because he's just pure chaos. And he's so, I think I would love him as a friend. You know, he would be one of those friends that you're like, oh, okay, Howl's at it again. Just wait a few minutes. You know, I actually have friends like that that I'm like, oh, but it's okay. It's that friend. They just, that's just how they work. That's just how their mind functions. And that's just give them a few days and they will return. Like it's you know, they have different way of living or different just whimsical aspects of themselves. I'm thinking about one friend in particular. But I am, yeah, I think I would enjoy him as a friend. um I don't know if I would keep him, you know, too close, because I don't know if I would be would want to be drawn into every shenanigan that he has. I don't know if I would really want to live through that. But I think as a character, I think he's my favorite. And I also kind of liked. I did not like the main character Sophie a lot of times. I think I would have outright hated her if it weren't for the book club that kind of kept me sane. Because there were so many things about her. I was just, Sophie, come on now, Sophie. What the? Just, just stop. Get out of your own head and just. No, not everything is because you are the eldest. You know, I was so mad at her sometimes, and I was just, can she just step out of her own head and just see, you know, and I think if it weren't for the book club, I would have despised her a bit. So, and I've had friends like that as well, that I've just thought like, oh no, here they go again. They just can't get past this or this aspect or this situation, and they don't listen to reason, and they don't, you know, people that ask for advice, and then it's like every advice you give goes against something fundamental that they believe is true, but you see how untrue it is, but they just can't see that. So every time you just circle back around to this main issue that they don't really know how to get over, and they aren't ready to get over it, and that sort of thing. So, and she's like that with the thought of being the eldest. So I'm like, oh, come on, Sophie. But yeah, I really enjoyed the fire demon, and I really enjoyed Michael. I think Michael was really cute. I think he felt older than he is in the book. He's like 15 in the book, and he's just so adorable. Yeah, he's adorable. He really is. So I really enjoyed it. And for you who haven't read it, it says here, Sophie has the great misfortune of being the eldest of three daughters, destined to fail miserably should she ever leave home to seek her fate. But when she unwittingly attracts the ire of the witch of the waste, Sophie finds herself under a horrid spell that transforms her into an old lady. Her only chance at breaking it lies in the ever-moving castle in the hills, the wizard Howl's castle. To untangle the enchantment, Sophie must handle the heartless Howl, strike a bargain with the fire demon, and meet the Witch of the Waste head on. Along the way, she discovers that there's far more to Howl and herself than first meets the eye. And one thing I did, because I've trash talked Sophie enough, so one thing I did enjoy about her was that she was just, and it's a part of the fact that she has this obstacle that she can't get over. So she's like, feels like everything is destined already. She has no part in her own life or her own destiny, and she just goes along with everything. She's like, oh well, this is happening to me now, so I better just relax into it. And so that's like the positive side, at least in this book. I think it was, if it was a person, I would not see it the same way. I would see it as, why aren't you just rebelling a bit? You know? But with Sophie in this book, it becomes like uh, a a good counterpoint to her, oh, but I will never succeed because I'm the eldest. So the counterpoint of that is her, well, I can never succeed anyway, so I I will put in no effort and I will just go along with everything. And it makes it for a good story that she doesn't rebel or stand up for herself or say something to stir the boat or anything like that. She just goes along with it in a way. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And it's not, I don't know how you uh, how you would classify high fantasy or epic fantasy if it can't have any of like this world's any of this world in it, because in this book there is a part of the real world, because there are several worlds in this book, or not really. There's one world, the land of Inguri, I guess it's called, and then there's like a door or a portal to this world. I don't know if it's epic or high fantasy, if that is included, so I don't know, but I'm really enjoying the mix of them. So it's really been inspiring. Yeah, I'm getting ideas. I'm getting inspired, you guys. Okay, so I gave this a 4.5 stars. It's so good that I want to. I'm not giving it a 5 star because I don't, I'm trying to not be so generous with my ratings. But I think I gave it a 5 star on Goodreads because you can't give half stars on Goodreads. So I'm trying to be more nuanced in my ratings because so far I've maybe given like 2 stars if it's bad, 3 star if it's medium, and 5 star if I wanna keep it. So I'm trying to think, did it change my life or my view of the world? That's a 5 star, And this wasn't quite a 5 star, it was enjoyable. So I'm giving it 4.5 stars. So, and I'm looking forward to the other two. I want to buy them at some point. I'm looking to buy the whole trilogy as a set. That would be amazing. So yeah. And so now I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna take a picture of these. So I have tabbed this, and the blue ones are actually just, I was reading it in bed and there was a new character. So I just tabbed to tell myself it's a new character and I have to write it down later, because at the end of the book I keep a score of all the characters on post-its. So and then the green ones are just maybe funny things happening or important things happening, and then the yellow ones are, quotes that I want to write down word for word. So there's a few tabs in this, and I'm gonna take pictures of these, and later tonight I'm gonna enter it into my reading journal. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Now I have that to do, and maybe make a sandwich before I'm heading off to the library. So have a wonderful day, wonderful week. It's Tuesday, and I will see you guys on Thursday. So walk in beauty and enjoy your reading. Tjingeling.